It can be said that war is the greatest game. Moves and counter-moves, bluffs and feints. A masterful general knows his opponent's every thought and responds accordingly. And so it was when Miura launched his first invasion of Japan. He knew it would fail, but he also knew it would arouse suspicion if he took no action. The Company of Answers had, after all, seized several key research files thanks to the decisive actions of their security commander. By marching on Tokyo and threatening company scientists on site, Miura was motivating the company to make use of the technology that they had stolen.
The Company of Answers had seized several key research files. By marching on Tokyo and threatening company scientists on site, Miura was motivating the company to make use of the technology that they had stolen. In this exercise, you must make do with limited cash reserves and known reinforcements. Mission objective: defend the technology center until research is complete.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Welcome back to Dawn of Tomorrow, Demise of the Old World, and welcome to the next challenge mission. This mission is a spin on a previous mission in which I had to defend this tech center here in Japan until we could evacuate. And this variant of the mission is 100 times more difficult. So in the original, there's a bunch of very significant differences. So in the original, you get, I believe, 2 airstrips, and those will provide you with, probably reveal that properly, those will provide you with, as well, actually no, that actually survived, some of those overseers. And the overseers are actually quite useful because you do face a lot of seals here. Now the seals are not that problematic because you can stop them with a wall of guard towers. The problem is there's also a bunch of other things coming at you, namely, you don't actually get a longbow with that pants, but that's cool, I guess. It's also cheaper. Namely, flame tanks and medium tanks. So the flame tanks are lethal against all the structures, obviously, and the towers aren't great against them, which is why I'm going for those helicopters. And the medium tanks are not as good against the towers, but they actually outrange them, even though half the time they come into range. And they also take a lot of firepower to take down, and as a result, they frequently distract the towers from attacking the seals, and once the seals are left unchecked, then you're in trouble. There's also these overseers here. The overseers are not that bad because they're pretty fragile, even though the grenades are not great against the towers. There's actually a little Japanese base in the northwestern corner that's going to distract the enemy for a while. It's going to go down sooner or later, but for a while it's going to distract the enemy. We also have to face missile carriers. Those are one of the biggest threats here, and also bacterial strikes. Now the bacterial strikes, you can easily distract those with the SAM site because the AI hates SAM site. I hate advanced guard towers, question spires, as well as SAM sites and repair facilities. So there's a certain amount of, or not amount, a certain class of structures that the AI cannot stand, and they will go out of their way to destroy them. So, a couple of other things to take into account here is that you have a limited budget, so you don't get any more money here. You just start with a fairly generous amount of money, like 15,000, but there's no more income, and I think if I did have income here, I'd probably get more. And one important thing to know here is that, here come the medium tanks, that the AI actually follows a somewhat specific pattern. You can see there's not many troops going for my construction yard, and the reason is that the troops all go north. And it's important to set up your defenses in a way, you can see that medium tank now outranges that tower. It's important to set up your defense in a way that the enemy runs past a lot of them, or past as many of them as possible, and doesn't challenge them outright. Like those defenses on the eastern side of my base, the seals can go for them, but a lot of them will just walk up to them and then get torn to pieces. And that's basically the idea here. That tank here is still alive, but that's okay with me for the time being because it's just one tank. I don't think one tank can beat a guard tower, actually. I think you need to... Unless the guard tower is already damaged or so. So I'm going to try to establish a meat grinder here. Yeah, the Japanese are still lasting for the time being, but it's not going to be for long. Also because their base defenses, their rocket pods, are not that great against all the infantry and whatnot. Gonna forward my defense here a little bit already. Power is also a bit of concern. There we go, there's the first bacterial strike. Could have sold those towers actually because they get destroyed anyway. And there's some missile crawlers. Those can be a huge problem because they are great against your choppers obviously. But what you can do is you can place a tower when they're in range. Like not before that, because otherwise just start firing on it from a distance. Or you can walk them with seals, because seals are actually going to tear through those missile carriers. Just make sure that they aren't grouped tightly together, because if they are, then just going to get themselves destroyed as a group, and that's not what we want here. I'll try to save the radar. Whether it goes during the long run remains to be seen, because the radar is helpful, but you don't really need it. It's not critical. More towers here. Flame tank is down. I definitely need some more defenses there, for the time being. You can see that seal there that's walking through my base to challenge structures in the north, and that's actually not something he would have to do. But that's just the way the eye behaves. Oh, that is a lot of infantry. So a lot of them are firing at the radar here. I may have to give up on that one actually. Yeah, not worth it. At least you get some money with that. Bit unfortunate, but not too bad. There goes that tower. The Japanese are chi-nuking in some reinforcement. You can see that amount of seals is already gone. So they got completely absorbed here. And I'll try to fortify that position a little bit more. The bacterial strikes, they come after like 30% of the mission, like 30, 60 and 90, so if you can survive until the third strike, you've almost made it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's kill that rifleman there. Goodbye. And it's all good here. Save some money for repairs, but I recommend here just build until you run out of money, then sell the construction yard, because after that you don't really need it anyway anymore. And you can use it to absorb damage, but that's not really... I don't think it's really necessary, and the eye does not tend to go for the construction yard anyway. Gonna fortify that position here a little bit more as well. So everybody's having to challenge those defenses. As a result, I can kill a lot of these seals here with a comparably small amount of effort. Yeah, if you try to defend all the 6 entrances to your area there, it is not going to work. You don't have the resources, you don't have the time to build all those defenses, and you're also too spread out, whereas with these tighter defenses, at least... There we go. That flame tank's don't blow up in a moment. At least with these tighter defenses here, you can also have your units pass around a little bit faster. There we go. Flame tank's gone. Also, the missile carriers, or missile crawlers, sorry, they hate your helicopters. They can kill them in one go. Well, that technician there, doing some good there. So keep them away from them, but you can also use that to distract the carriers and force them to come closer than they need to otherwise. One more defense there. Now I'm out of money, so I may as well sell the construction yard, and oh, even get an engineer for that. And then I have a decent amount of money left for repairs. That should last me for quite a while actually. That power plant in the south, I could also sell that if I really need to. Thankfully this is not the Crohn's Fair defense mission, you don't need to have full power by the end of the mission. As far as I know, there's actually no power trigger in Tiberium Dawn. And there comes the second bacterial strike. Don't forget to fix the SAM site after the first strike, otherwise it might actually get blown up by the second strike. And the problem is, if you want to build another one, you have to build it too close to everything. Yeah, so this setup there in the northeast, that works really nicely right now. mainly because all the SEALs have to walk up like the cliffs there, and they're really exposed when that happens. Same here. This turns into a little bit of the classic flash game tower defense. Try to keep those jeeps alive because they're good at intercepting a missile crawler when it really comes to it. They're probably gonna die in the process, but well, that's how it is. So I'm gonna move these guys here back a little bit, just to have the carriers here come closer than they need to otherwise. And yeah, this one here now flew too close to the sun is gonna be blown up in a second. Wait for the second one there to fire. There we go. That was your mistake. Okay, got lucky there. Yeah, this is considerably more difficult than the original version. They got a lot of free vehicles, and I'm not sure you had income in that mission, but at least even if you didn't, you could probably just be okay just spamming towers, because those didn't really face anything such as the flame tanks. I don't recall there being any. But you know what? Doesn't really matter. Another good thing about the helicopters is that units often try to go after them, even if they can't fire on air units. They still kind of like buzz around like that, and that's helpful as well. I could have built another helipad. There's actually some space west of the tech center that does not get hit by this bacterial strike. But I think two helicopters were already won, but I think a third one would have been nice, if I'm being entirely honest. I'm gonna bring in those rangers here, because... oh, Japanese are getting more reinforcements. Because... oh, there we go. With some luck, I thought the tank was maybe going to follow the rangers and then get themselves killed, but never mind. It's fine. Okay, all good here. Yeah, this looks pretty good. I have more than 2,000 credits left, which is not bad at all. So I have to last a little bit longer, but I think overall this is looking pretty good. There's gonna be some more crawlers and some more, maybe flame tanks and medium tanks, but I'm not too worried about them. Also because I don't need everything to survive, I just need the tanks and not to be destroyed. And the DI is gonna prioritize the base defenses, so they have to chew through all of those before they actually attack the tech center, most of the time. Okay, so far so good. Japanese base still standing, at least the rocket pods are, which I guess is great. Get ready to repair all of this here. All good here. You can help out with the medium tank. There's another crawler, but that crawler came into range. And now it's dead. I don't know what happened to its buddy crawler there, because they usually come in pairs. Maybe that one already came into range anyway. So that was the final strike. I can now sell that SAM site, but I'm not sure that's going to be necessary. Yeah. I guess I get some money for that, and 4 riflemen, which is actually not that bad, even though the SEALs considerably outclass all those riflemen. Even I'm not sure whether a SEAL can beat 3 of them. I guess depends on the circumstance, maybe with defender's advantages. Those towers in the northwest there, they've done some heavy lifting. There's another pair of crawlers there. Let's see whether those will come into range as well. We'll get a SEAL going here, and this one here did indeed, and now it's dead. Oh wow, that's bold. Yeah, there we go, single SEAL. No problem whatsoever. It's already dead. Could have attacked that barracks, but you got greedy. One medium tanks left here. Yeah, the medium tanks they're not that bad, but they distract the towers from destroying the SEALs. And once the towers are distracted, The seals can actually cut through them fairly swiftly, but we are almost there. And basically all the defense are still standing. Well, not the outer ring, but that's fine. So there we go.
Simulation completed.